I've seen them say
This is going
worse.
timey wavy.
Oh my fucking god, I've just got the worst take of all time.
Oh,
Okay,
oh my
so
God! Wait, did you send this over as well? Love Space Babies,
what
man.
the
Honestly,
fuck? Why? Okay,
I
I'll
don't
read
know.
it out in case I haven't put it on screen or whatever. But this take is: Space Babies is better than Boom or 73 Yards. Absolutely the fuck not. Respectfully,
No,
absolutely not.
no. Space Babies is easily the worst episode of the New Era. The whole of
I
RTD2.
disagree, but not by much.
I, it's the one episode I've watched. I genuinely think, right? I like this era, the new one. Every single episode on first watch, I've really enjoyed it. Apart from this, it's the first episode I watched and went, "What the shit happened?" Even Empire of Death. I mean, maybe it's because I was watching it in the cinema when I first watched it. I was like, I was hyped, you know. With
Yeah.
this, I was like, I was really nervous to watch The Devil's Core next. Put it this way, I was really worried. So yeah, that's don't know.
I'd watched
No.
these both like back to back again after a night out, so I think I actually enjoyed Space Babies the first time I watched it, funnily enough. But then when I was at work the next day, I worked at an Odeon at the time, and a bunch of people there were Doctor Who fans, and they were saying stuff about the episode, and I was like, that sounds fucking ridiculous. I do not remember that happening. Like, me mate had said, he's like, no, I just couldn't, like, when the Doctor used the stored up shit to, like, put the ship through space, and I was like, what are you talking about? Did that happen? And he's like, yeah, it was at the end, and I was like, maybe I need to watch this again. And I watched it again, and I was like, oh my god, this is one of the most embarrassing things I have ever seen in my entire life. What on earth?
Yeah, I I agree.
To spice this up a little
Completely.
bit more, I honestly don't think it's much worse than Boom or 73 Yards, because I think both of them are pretty bad.
Oh, don't offend me right now. Don't hurt my feelings.
I think
No need for that.
they're both bad, but they're not like I could watch them and not be embarrassed to be a fan of the show. Like watching Space Babies makes us embarrassed to watch Doctor Who.
Yeah, it feels like it's one of those episodes where I kind of, again, when I say this, I mean it respectfully. When I look at the decisions in Chibnall's era and some episodes, I just think, why did you do that? Why has this happened? What was your thought process? I watched that episode and it's the same thing. I'm like, why, as the opener to a new series, did you make this the opener? Why on earth would you think that when we're limited to 8 episodes a series, an idea like this would be so good?
It's actually
Genuinely,
mortifying to even think about, really.
like, why?
We have a new Doctor Who's going to be seen by a whole new audience. There's
Yeah, exactly.
more money behind it than ever before. The hype is unreal. And then the first thing
Exactly.
we see is an episode where 90% of the humour is the Doctor saying Space Babies and literal snot and shit jokes. Like,
I think if this episode, I genuinely think if this was like, you throw this in series 2, right, in the middle of series 2, nobody will care. I mean, we'll
I
still not like
disagree.
it, but we won't like it. Don't get me wrong. We'll still have this conversation, the exact same conversation. What I think what I'm trying to say is, because it's the opener, you have that extra kind of
There's extra
grudge
vitriol
against it.
towards it because it's like, why
Yeah,
the fuck would you open the
you
series with
watch it.
this?
And if you watch a series 14 rewatch and you start with this, you want to stop. You will just. It's for me. It's. Oh man, I don't. I mean, I've only watched it twice. I think it's not the worst thing in the world,
No, it's not
but
the
I
worst
don't.
thing ever, but it's just like mortifyingly embarrassing, I think.
Feels incomplete as well. I don't know why. It just feels like there's stuff where we cut from this to this, and it feels like we're kind of going back and forth whenever I watch it. I don't know. I
It's
just had
such
that
a
feeling when I
like it's
watched it.
all
For
over
the
the
second
place.
time.
It's such a mess.
Yeah, exactly. It's really weird because it feels like you make progress. I remember saying this, but I can't remember what the context was. But you make progress, and then you feel like you've just gone back to where you were in plot. What I don't know.
It's like
Disagree. Get out. Bottom tier.
it's like thinking about it even gives us a headache. I remember when I was reviewing it, I realized it's like, wait, okay, so the babies were abandoned because the government's in recession, but the government made it illegal to close the farms. But then why does everybody then choose to leave if
And what
the stations are like the whole thing just doesn't make sense? I'm just gonna put this
They all
in
died
You Ain't
at
Cooking
the end as
Shit.
well. They all died at the end, didn't they? Because he what do you do to the ship? He made it so the ship was powered off a fart, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he
But
powered
how was it going to?
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
How was it going to actually land? It was just going to go straight into a planet.
I didn't even think,
Just
I didn't even think of that. That's so funny.
Genuinely, how was it going to land? It's not a working ship. It just got powered by a fart. So he said, just send the water down.
I didn't even think
That
of
was
that.
the
That's
worst
so
thing.
stupid.
Yeah, that's what I hated when I watched it the second time.
The
And
15th
then I
Doctor
realised
very
it.
casually commits murder in like his first two stories for basically no reason.
Let's go. Goblin King dead. He just hates babies, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got-
just like,
You know what got me when he killed the Goblin King? It's like I was like,
Go on.
first of all, I'm like, you are taking a huge chance because you have no idea where he is proportionate to the ship. Also, you have super
Yeah.
gloves. You can literally climb up, just get Ruby and dip. Also, he was literally like 3 feet off just killing Ruby. It's such a cluster. I'm like, why is just man.
still like that apart from the ending, but that's another episode. Next take. Come on, bring it up. It's got to be better than that one.
I fucking
We did
hope
ask for
so.
hot takes. To be fair.
It's a hot take, but it ain't a good one.
Oh no.
Oh god.
No, oh, now this is where we start to have a couple squabble.
We're gonna start arguing like an old married couple.
Yep. No, yeah, but
You're gonna read it out.
the wording. You read it out.
I'll
just
read
in
it out.
case.
It's from Marty Sat 137, and he has said RTD2 has actually been great so far.
I almost agree. Maybe replace great with good, and we're sorted.
I am in very much the camp of. I think this series is one that's become quite hard to criticize because of how much people just dislike David Tennant for no reason, so they're therefore just passing it on to Russell and then saying, like, this is the worst series ever. Like, I think this era as a whole has been pretty bad for the most part, but it's nowhere near the worst of what we've had before. Like there's steps in the right direction for this era, but most of it is just like, it's like 1 step forward and like 90 steps back. Like, there is potential in almost every episode besides like Space Babies, because there's just nothing there's nothing good about that really. But like,
There's no idea there.
it's like a lot of the stuff that Era's done or is trying to do, I do actually like, but it's so half-baked and clearly not well thought out that I just can't really like it that much. It's like, all the experimentation's fucking class for a show like Doctor Who. It needs it all the time. But then a lot of the experimentation, I feel like it's just been done for the sake of it without an actual reason.
Yeah, I can see what you mean with that.
And like, I think structurally the show's just kind of fucked at this point because Doctor Who clearly doesn't work with 8 episodes, so they've rushed so much stuff. And considering that, I think I'd heard recently, I think it was in an interview, that Ruby's gonna be in like half of series 2. I mean, series 15
Yeah,
anyway. So
She's in like a middle. I think she's in like the middle. If I remember right, she's in the middle 2 episodes, which might be like some sort of 2-part, and then she's in the last 2. I think.
Or it's like, but the stuff they've done with her, it comes off as so rushed and so unearned because there's no time. It's like the first episode of series 14, she gets the TARDIS key, and the Doctor's just like so in love with his mate, and it's like there's nothing being built.
What we cooked, man, because when all that happened, we were like, this is genuinely a criticism of Russian stuff, or he's actually cooking, because we thought he was going to do like the whole perfect companion thing,
Yeah.
of the you know about the cancelled the unused plot from series one. We thought he was gonna do that. I genuinely believe that for so long that it wasn't a flaw in writing. It was a genuine thing where the reason it's rushing so quickly is because he's kind of fallen for her so quickly because she's the perfect companion. But no,
No, she's just boring.
she was not.
She's just boring.
Which
like,
is
there's
fair.
just nothing to her, really.
In that same conversation as well, by the way, that we had months ago, I think Wang then said something like, or I said something like, "Oh, imagine if she's just normal now," and then we had a discussion about how it'd be fine if she was normal if it was done right. But again, that's another. Yeah, man. As like, if we're talking about the whole era, the 60th, right? The 60th, I love so much. Like, I don't care what anyone says about Star Beast.
Yeah, I
don't
was gonna say
care
we're
how
on like.
messy it is.
It's funny because
I
like
love it.
we're so like me and you both avid dislikers of the giggle, which most people like really like.
I hated it when I not hated it. I didn't like when it first came out. You can actually scroll on my account. I put it bottom of
Oh, no way.
ranking the free spec. I put it bottom. I got hated on it so much, and now kind of everyone's kind of turned on.
They're
it,
just like,
and I'm just
yeah,
kind of I'm
it's
slightly
kind of
cocky.
shit.
But now I'm kind of like I don't really care anymore. I watch it and I like it, so I get fun out of it.
With me, I think with the 60th, I take into account when talking about the whole era, because I think the 60th on the whole isn't really that good. Because, I mean, we are very opposites. I fucking hate the Star Beast. I think it's so awful. But then Wild Blue Yonder, I absolutely adore. Like, that's the episode that has basically brought me back from the dead.
I'm gonna marry that episode.
Literally, like,
Genuinely.
the fact that I was such a non-presence for basically, like, a year and a half, and then Wild Blue Yonder came back, and I was all of a sudden just so much back in love with the show. And then
So peak.
So peak. But then the giggle.
Peak.
When the giggle first came out, I liked it, but I didn't think it was very good. But I couldn't figure out why. But then when I reviewed it, I'd sort of been like, okay, now it makes sense. It's because it's just a fucking mess of shit happening, 100 ideas, none of which really get any good conclusion except the Doctor settling down. And even that is built on stuff that's really poorly set up. Like, there's one scene in... there's like 2-3 scenes in Wild Blue Yonder. And then in The Giggle, Donna's just reduced to explaining the character arc to her. And I'm like, alright, this is the subtle king I used to watch when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you. But this, briefly on the Star Beast, right? I think when it aired, I remember when it aired, it was. I mean, put it this way: I have a bias to it, and I'm not going to deny it because it aired on my birthday.
That is
It
true.
aired on my birthday, and my favourite Doctor of all time returned. It's mad when you think about it.
It's fucking
A Doctor
insane.
returned as a new incarnation on my birthday. My favourite Doctor.
Yeah, that is fucking wild. Like.
So it's one of them where whenever I watch it, I have very good memories because of sitting in. Because I watched it, getting some Doctor Who tweets and all hit. I watched it in Liverpool for my birthday, so I watched it in. I made sure I had to go home back to the hotel in Liverpool whilst having a day out with the fun man. I had to go home and watch it in the hotel room and then go back out and enjoy my night because I was not having it. I was like, it's on my birthday, I'm not missing it.
Fair enough.
But I remember one man spoke about it the next morning in Tesco Express actually, and such great lore here, by the way. And I remember we both kind of just agreed it was all right, and I kind of feel that's where I sit with it. It's fine.
I have a very similar story, but about Wild Blue Yonder.
Were you in Tesco Express as well?
Funnily enough, I was not in Tesco Express, but
that's where all the good shit happens.
Oh man, I'm missing out. But I was down in Nottingham when Wild Blue Yonder came out for one of my best mates. It was his sister's birthday, and she'd asked if we'd go down because they have like family down there and that. So I remember I had a plan. We were in like Nottingham City or whatever, just like out on the piss. I literally was gonna get a taxi back to the hotel, watch Wild Blue Yonder, and then go back out. But I sort of decided, like, I think it was, I think I'd been drinking for about like 3 or 4 hours at that point, and then I was just sort of like, nah, fuck that, I'll just watch it in the morning. And then when I watched it in the morning, we were just in the hotel, like, all, like, we were just all, like, lying in the bed, and I literally, like, put my headphones on, went underneath the cover, and just started watching Wild Blue Yonder, and they just thought I was asleep. And I, like, uncover myself from the quilt, like, just tears in my eyes. I was like, boys, the new Doctor Who episode's so fucking good, you know. And they were like, you watched it without one? I was like, I had to. I do.
Commitment is unreal. Doctor Who fans' commitment is genuinely unreal. I genuinely think Doctor Who fans would miss a wedding to watch an episode of Doctor Who. I'm not even joking. Even if we're not enjoying the era, the commitment is just unreal. You have to watch it when it comes out.
To be fair, harken back to the Star Beast, I was exaggerating a bit. I don't hate it, and I do also have bias to it for a similar reason. It didn't come out on my birthday, but that day, you won't give a shit about this because you don't watch wrestling, but like, the day that my favourite Doctor came back was also a day that Randy Orton and CM Punk came back. Randy Orton, who'd been injured for like a year and a half, everyone thought he was going to have to retire. And CM Punk, who hadn't been in WWE for like almost 10 years, like them three coming back on the same day, I was literally like, holy shit. Media-wise, one of the greatest days for me ever. But I'll have bias towards it forever, but I don't like it very much.
Episodes can do that. You can have memories attached with them, and it'll just you can enjoy it. You can look past some stuff more sometimes with stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like I think when I reviewed the Star Beast, I was still very much in favour of it. But now I'm sort of... It's been almost a year since it came out now. And I'm just sort of like, I mean, I don't really like it, but it's not the worst thing ever. For me, the main thing that annoys us about it isn't really like the wonky plot, it's just how Russell writes the 14th Doctor. Does really get under my skin.
With you. The ignoring, being stupid around Donna and stuff does annoy me kinda, because he's like, oh, if she remembers me, she will die. And then he goes, this is a sonic screwdriver, Donna. Yeah, it's just so weird. It's like 2 minutes later, I've got a sonic screwdriver.
It's the
I've
bit
got a
when
TARDIS as well.
Literally, it's the bit when the moment I noticed it was sort of falling off was when he rocks up at the door, and Sylvia's like, "You said if she remembers you, she'll die." No, what was it? She says, "You said if she sees you, she'll die." And then he goes, "Well, if she remembers me, that's slightly different." I'm like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about?"
Yeah, okay, fair enough if he's going to say that, but then he shouldn't walk into the room and explain what a sonic screwdriver is.
He also shouldn't very casually mention he has 2 hearts.
Oh yeah, it's so funny.
It's so annoying, because I remember the one thing that, like, when the episode came out, was like, I seen a few people being like, oh, people are realising that David Tennant was always poorly written as the Doctor. And I'm like, no, he wasn't. He's only been poorly written as the Doctor once. And it's really annoying.
He was essentially only poorly written in, essentially, whenever he was with Donna in the Star Beast.
Yeah,
essentially, whenever he was with Donna, that was it. He just...
It's so wild, because then you get one of the best, like, not even just 14th or 10th Doctor scenes ever, you get one of the best Doctor scenes ever in Wild Blue Yonder. And it's like, okay, where was this source in the first episode? Like, why did you save it all for the second part?
Oh, right. Anyway, as a whole, RTD2, I like it. I don't think it's perfect, but I know you disagree, so I'm kind of happy to meet in the middle, to be fair.
I'm leaning towards L take, personally.
I'll happily, yeah, I'll go Eltay because I was gonna say if I had to put it anywhere on my own, it would probably be in agreeable because I just don't agree with great because I don't think it's been great to me is like kind of the same as like really, but great is really good in it. I don't think it's
Yeah.
really good because there's a lot of flaws and there's stuff where we can improve. But I think I'm enjoying it and I'm happy to be enjoying Doctor Who again. Like that's all I can say.
Even when I watched it through the blurred lens, it was just nice being excited to actually watch it again.
Yeah, it's kind of been just to me, even if it's not anything special, it's kind of just being back to. People say it doesn't feel like Doctor Who, but to me it feels like Doctor Who because it just feels like we're just back to like you know what I mean? Like when I didn't like the Chibnall era at all, and I mean nothing wrong with it if you do, but it wasn't my cup of tea. I couldn't get on with it. I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that happened. I didn't like the characters. I couldn't connect with it. The moment Ncuti Gatwa stepped inside that role, stepped on foot of set, and on my screen and became the Doctor, I was like, bam, I like this guy. I like this Doctor. I'm excited to watch more of him. And even if he hasn't had the best development and his character's been a bit wonky, solid Doctor, solid companion, solid episodes. Wild Blue Yonder peak, top 10. I think top 5 all time for me. So that in itself, yeah, cool.
For me personally, Wild Blue Yonder is like out of all of the episodes we'll have so far, I think Wild Blue Yonder's the only one that's like good. Well, not good, fucking amazing. Like, because even if any era that story would be in, it's exceptional Doctor Who. But for me, there is I don't like 73 Yards, but I think if it was redrafted, it could be brilliant. Dot and Bubble, I really like, but it's not amazing.
I like Dot. I like Dot and Bubble.
I really, really like Dot and Bubble, but it shoots itself in the foot so much.
Yeah.
But I do really like it. Like, those 2 episodes, like Wild Blue Yonder and Dot and Bubble, they're like my sparks of hope. I'm like, I do see the potential, I see the vision, but we're just not there yet. But I do think we can get there. I think it'll just take time.
I think we'll get there. I genuinely think. I think Series 3 could be the one. I don't know why.
So. Because I don't have too much hope for the second season because it's already
filmed.
Yeah.
But Series 3, I kind of feel like he could be cooking. I don't know why. I just feel like everything that's happened could be. I feel like little nuggets that he might have left for Series 3. Because sometimes with Russell, I don't know why, he always writes in a way that even now with Series 1, there'll be stuff that you won't notice, but then if it means something, you know what I mean? That's what I always feel with Russell. He does stuff like that where you won't pick on like stuff that he writes that means something to the story or the story arc, and then it'll come up later.
I do agree with that for his old work, but with this new era, I'm struggling to see because a lot of the stuff he's left and has resolved,
I'm on about
hasn't really worked.
To be honest, yeah, I'm on about his old work, and that's why I'm kind of hoping like the first 2 seasons of the new era, it's gonna be when we hit Series 3, he'll then kind of click it all together quite nicely.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the 60, he kind of did it in a less good way. I mean, even a good way, like the Doctor kind of wanting a break stuff. I was picking up on it, but I didn't really think it was going to go anywhere. I just thought it was generic.
The Doctor is sad.
To be honest, I think I was more I think I was so used to the Chibnall era just saying I'm sad and then nothing happening. I thought it was going to do that, where they just tell each other how they feel, and then just nothing happens with the close camera shots and the lens flares and everything. Just nothing happens. So I just didn't pick up on it, and then the giggle happened. I was like, oh, that's why we've been doing this. Oh, but yeah.
The prime example of like Chibnall's emotional writing ability to me is when we go from the Timeless Children to Revolution of the Daleks, and they both have the exact same thing with the Timeless Children, where it's like, oh, I found out that I'm not who I thought I was. How does that make you feel? Sad, angry. Oh, what are you gonna do about it? It hasn't stopped you before. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just it. Like, there's just nothing else.
I feel like I need to rewatch the Chibnall era because it's so funny.
I'm gonna rewatch it soon, but I'm gonna regret it, I already know.
I tried earlier in the year and I think I got to Rosa and then stopped.
I'd be interested to rewatch it because I honestly haven't seen anything of Series 11 since it came out.
Yeah.
I haven't rewatched
this-
anything from Flux or any of the specials. The only episodes I rewatched were the ones for Series 12 for the videos, but like, that was almost 5 years ago now. Like, I don't remember what happened in them. Well, that's enough of that. As you can tell, we waffled on for a very, very, very long fucking time this entire video, so I've had to split it into multiple parts, so you'll definitely see this exact clip at the end of the second part, which if you're at the second part, sorry, hearing us repeat myself, but that's all from us today. We will continue this next week, maybe? We'll see what happens. Third channel, who fucking knows. But, thank you for watching. Go follow the tweet man. Don't. And I'll see yous next time.